allocated to the devolved unit in the next financial year. The Speaker's procession has made its way into the chamber. The sergeant at arms with the mace, signaling that the business of the Senate is just about to commence. The Speaker of the House, Honorable Amason Kingi, will be presiding over the business of the House this afternoon. Gladys Mungai is my name. Allow me to hand over for this live broadcast.
Tuombe. Mwenyezi Mungu, twakusihi ututazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka, sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Twakuomba utuwajalie tuyatende na kufikia mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Cloud, we have quorum. Sergeant at arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Good afternoon to you. If you're just joining us, the business of the Senate has just commenced this afternoon. But upon the commencement, the House is experiencing a small quorum hitch. And following that small issue, the Speaker of the Senate, who is presiding over the business of the Senate this afternoon, has directed the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes, this being a leeway to notify senators within the presence of Parliament to make haste and get into the chamber to allow for the proper quoration of the House to continue with the consideration of business lined up this afternoon. Before I handed you over for this live broadcast, I was just informing you of the resumption of debate on the Division of Revenue Bill number 2 of the year 2026. It is a bill originating from the National Assembly, and courtesy of this bill, the National Assembly has allocated 420 billion shillings, being funds that are set to be sent to counties in the next financial year. There appears to be a situation of locking horns. Our senators are proposing 450 billion shillings. We are waiting to see how that will pan out, and the quorum has been attained. Allow me to hand you over back to the chamber.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, Senator for Nandi County, the Honorable Samson Chirange. That statement is dropped. Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the shortage of special needs education teachers in public schools across the country. Mr. Speaker, Kenya continues to face a significant shortage of trained special needs education teachers, thereby affecting the implementation of inclusive education and the realization of the right to education for learners with disabilities. This shortage is particularly evident in the specialized subjects, including science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as well as practical skills training. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the policy and strategy of the Ministry of Education on the implementation of integrated and inclusive learning for learners with disabilities in Kenya, including the extent to which public schools, tertiary institutions, ECDE centers, and vocational training centers have adopted inclusive learning systems disaggregated by category of institution and county. The current number and number 2, the current number and distribution of special needs education teachers across the country, disaggregated by specialization, level of education, and county, including whether the existing teacher-learner ratio are adequate to meet the needs of learners with disabilities. Number 3, the number of teacher training institutions that have incorporated special needs education teaching skills in their curricula and the measures being taken to strengthen pre-service and in-service training for teachers in inclusive education. 4, measures being undertaken by the Teacher Service Commission and the Ministry of Education to recruit, train, deploy, and retain more special needs education teachers, particularly in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as well as practical skills training. Number 5, the strategies in place to incentivize teachers to undertake training in special needs education, including scholarships, in-service training, career progression opportunities, and other professional support mechanisms. Number 6, the deployment policy for special needs education teachers, including measures to ensure equitable distribution to underserved and marginalized regions, and the timelines and targets set to address the current staffing shortage nationwide. 7, the mechanisms in place to monitor and evaluate special needs education programs, including measures to improve learning outcomes for learners with disabilities at basic education, tertiary, ECDE, and vocational training levels. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Bungoma County, the Honorable Senator David Wakoli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was tasked early enough to read the statement for Senator Wakoli, and I accepted to do so. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries on a matter of county-wide concern regarding discrepancies in coffee pricing in Bungoma County, particularly in respect of coffee cherry and mbuni dry parchment. Mr. Speaker, sir, coffee remains an important cash crop for many smallholder farmers in Bungoma County. In recent seasons, farmers have raised concerns regarding variations in the prices offered for coffee cherry delivered to factories and mbuni processed through cooperative societies. These variations have affected farmers' earnings and have raised questions on transparency, accountability, and fairness within the coffee value chain. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the pricing structure used by coffee factories and cooperative societies in Bungoma County for coffee cherry and mbuni, including authenticated records showing the prices paid to farmers during the last 5 seasons and the causes of the observed discrepancies. 2, the number and details of all millers, marketing agents, and brokers engaged by coffee factories or cooperative societies in Bungoma County, indicating their roles, contractual terms, and duration of engagement. 3, procedures and criteria used in the appointment or engagement of millers, agents, and brokers, and whether the appointments complied with the applicable laws, regulations, and cooperative governance requirements. 4, the level of compliance by coffee factories, cooperative societies, millers, agents, and brokers with existing coffee laws and regulations, including requirements on disclosure of prices, deductions, commissions, milling costs, and payment to farmers. And 5, the measures to enhance transparency, accountability, and fair pricing within the coffee value chain to safeguard the interests of farmers and restore confidence in cooperative societies in Bungoma County. Senator David Wakoli, MP, Senator for Bungoma County. Thank you.
Honorable Senator Hamida Kibwana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My statement is regarding the implementation of the integrated county payroll system. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on a matter of national concern regarding the implementation of the integrated county payroll system by county governments and county assemblies. Mr. Speaker, sir, the National Treasury has directed county governments and county assemblies to process the April 2026 payroll through the integrated HRIS Kenya payroll system and IFMIS payroll module. The system is intended to streamline salary processing, improve payroll accountability, address irregular staff records, and ensure proper remittance of statutory deductions, including SHA, NSSF, pay, pension contributions, and other deductions. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the level of readiness of all county governments and county assemblies to process salaries through integrated HRIS Kenya payroll system and IFMIS payroll module, indicating any counties or county assemblies that are yet to comply. Number 2, whether implementation of the directive is likely to delay payment of salaries to county employees, and states the measures taken to ensure that staff are not disadvantaged during the transmission. Number 3, the safeguards in place to ensure accuracy of payroll data, protection of personal information, and proper remittance of statutory deductions, including SHA, NSSIF, pay, and pension contributions. Number 4, the number of irregular, duplicate, inactive, or unverified staff records identified through the payroll integration process, disaggregated by county government and county assembly. Finally, measures taken by the National Treasury, the Controller of Budget, and county governments to support counties facing technical, administrative, or capacity challenges in implementing the system. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Kisumu County, the Honorable Professor Tom Ojenda. That statement is dropped. Senator Fernandi, you may read your statement that has just been reinstated.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for that indulgence. Request for a statement on consumer exploitation following the April 2026 increase in fuel and petroleum prices. Mr. Speaker, sir, I raise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism on a matter of national concern regarding reports of exploitation of consumers following the April 2026 increase in fuel and petroleum prices across the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, this matter raises grave concerns under the Consumer Protection Act 2012 and the Competition Act of 2010 and the Energy Act of 2019, which collectively safeguard the consumers against unfair trade practices, unjustified price manipulation, and exploitative conduct of the same. Following the fuel price adjustments, several counties have reported unreasonable increases in public transport fares and the cost of essential goods and services. Credible evidence suggests that certain traders and transport operators impose disproportionate price hikes not fully justified by operational costs, thereby placing undue financial burden on consumers. Mr. Speaker, sir, the statement, one, the committee should address the following: whether regulatory agencies evaluated fare increases by transport operators and confirmed their consistency with lawful cost-based pricing principles. Mr. Speaker, sir, number two, measures undertaken to track and regulate price increases of essential goods and services and identify unjustified or exploitative practices. Number three, Mr. Speaker, sir, actions by the Competition Authority of Kenya and other agencies to probe possible cases of profiteering, collusion, or anti-competitive conduct linked to the fuel price hike and the findings of such investigations. So, Speaker, sir, number four, penalties or corrective measures imposed against operators or traders found culpable of excessive or unjustified pricing. So, Speaker, sir, number five, whether the government has established guidelines or regulatory mechanisms and long-term policy interventions to ensure that the future fuel price fluctuations do not trigger consumer exploitation with special protection for vulnerable households across the country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Professor Tom Agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my statement is brought under Standing Order 53-1, and it is on unfair labor practices in private industrial establishments in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the state of compliance with fair labor standards within the private industrial establishment in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, in recent years, Kisumu County has attracted private investment in small and medium manufacturing, particularly in agro-processing and wood production. While these firms support growth and job creation, some of them operate in violation of labor and safety standards. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. One, the measures and frameworks the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection has put in place to monitor and enforce compliance with fair labor standards covering wages, working hours, contractual obligations, and protections against exploitation, discrimination, and unsafe working conditions in private industrial establishments in Kisumu County, including foreign-owned or managed enterprises. Two, the frequency, scope, and outcomes of labor inspections conducted in Kisumu County from 2023 to 2026, particularly in the manufacturing and processing sectors, including identified violations and actions taken. Number three, the mechanisms available to workers and the public to report unfair labor practices and transparency and effectiveness of investigation and complaints resolution process. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the steps taken by the Ministry of Labor in collaboration with the county government to raise awareness, strengthen enforcement, and ensure industrial growth in Kisumu County upholds dignity, fair labor practice, and the rule of law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
A statement pursuant to Standing Order 57-1. The Majority Leader. Absolutely. As a member of SBC, you may do so, Minority Leader.
I'm obliged, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a statement on the business of the day, on the business of the Senate for the week commencing Tuesday, 5th of May, 2026. Mr. Speaker, sir, the status of legislative business before the Senate is as follows. Number one, 64 bills are pending conclusion, of which 47 are at the second reading, 16 are at the committee of the whole, and 1 is awaiting first reading. 17 motions are pending conclusions. Number 3, 18 petitions are pending conclusions by respective standing committees of these petitions. 15 are due for reporting. And lastly, number 4, 503 statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 are under consideration by the respective committees. Mr. Speaker, sir, at the next sitting of the Senate on Tuesday, 5th of May, 2026, the tentative business for the day will include business not concluded from today's order paper, as well as the business indicated on the notice paper. Number 4, the tentative business for the morning sitting on Wednesday, 6th of May, 2026 will include questions to Cabinet Secretaries as approved by the Senate Business Committee, as well as motions. The questions schedule include: number 1, questions to the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Energy and Petroleum. Number 2, questions to the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development. And finally, number 3, questions to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. Number 5, in this respect, I urge senators who have filed questions to the 3 Cabinet Secretaries to ensure that they are in the chamber to ask the questions. You recall that yesterday morning sitting was adjourned due to lack of quorum. This was the 3rd time that the Senate adjourned on a Wednesday morning due to lack of quorum. This does not represent a good picture on us, and is certainly not good use of the time allocated for questions. Number 6, for this reason, I urge majority and minority party whips to ensure quorum at the commencement of plenary sittings. The time wasted ringing the quorum bell should be better spent transacting business. Mr. Speaker, sir, the tentative business of the afternoon sitting on Wednesday, on May 6th, 2026, will include business not concluded from Tuesday's order paper and the following. A, bills at second reading. Number 1, the County Government State Officers Removal from Office Procedure Bill, Senate Bills number 34 of 2024. Number 2, the County Government Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2024. Number 3, the Senate Naming and Property Addressing System Bill, Senate Bills number 43 of 2024. Number 4, the County Government Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 52 of 2024. And finally, number 5, the County Government Laws Amendment Bills, Senate Bills number 14 of 2025. Mr. Speaker, number 7B, bills at Committee of the Whole. Number 1, Roman, the Nuts and Oil Crops Development Bill, Senate Bill number 47 of 2023. Heritage, number 2, the Heritage and Museum Bill, Senate Bills number 8 of 2023. Number 3, the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2024. Number 4, the County Hall of Fame Bill, Senate Bills number 18 of 2023. Number 5, the Public Funding Appeals Bill, Senate Bills number 36 of 2024. Number 6, the Environmental Laws Amendment Bill and certain bills number 23 of 2024. Number 7, the Sports Amendment Bill number 2, bill, the Senate bills number 45 of 2024. Number 8, the Kenya National Council of Population and Development Bill, National Assembly bills number 72 of 2023. Number 9, the Seeds and Plant Varieties Amendment Bill, Senate bills number 4 of 2025. Number 10, the County Oversight and Accountability Bill, Senate bills number 3 of 2024. Number 11, the Sports Amendment Bill, Senate bills number 33 of 2024. And number 12, the Electronic Equipment Disposal, Recycling and RECOS and ROSE Bill, Senate bills number 5 of 2025. And finally, number 13, the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Amendment Bill, National Assembly bills number 48 of 2024. On motion, delinking junior secondary schools from primary schools. And finally, number 8, the projected business for Thursday, 7th of May, 2026 will include business not concluded in the order paper for Wednesday, on 6th of May, 2026, and any other business scheduled by the Senate Business Committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you and hereby lay the statement on the table of the Senate. Thank you very much.
Senator Kenyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Request for a statement on the unlawful detention of a Kenyan national in an undisclosed Ukrainian prison. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of national concern regarding the unlawful detention of a Kenyan national in an undisclosed Ukrainian prison. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Joseph Wairoto Kafugi, a Kenyan national unlawfully recruited and trafficked to serve in the armed forces of Russian Federation, is currently detained in Ukraine after reportedly being coerced into military service despite having been recruited as a computer technician and having no prior military experience. Mr. Kafugi is being held in an undisclosed location following his capture by Ukrainian forces, raising serious concerns regarding compliance with the Geneva Convention, access to consular assistance, and the protection of his fundamental human rights. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the circumstances surrounding the recruitment, trafficking, and subsequent detention of Mr. Joseph Wairoto Kafugi, including whether his detention complies with the Geneva Convention and applicable international humanitarian law. 2, the measures taken by the government of Kenya, including urgent diplomatic engagements with the government of Russia and Ukraine to secure the release and safe repatriation of Mr. Joseph Wairoto Kafugi. 3, the measures in place to prevent, detect, and respond to cases of Kenyan nationals being unlawfully recruited, trafficked, or coerced into foreign armed conflicts, including the effectiveness of existing legal and regulatory frameworks governing overseas recruitment. 4, the mechanism established to ensure provision of consular assistance to Kenyan nationals detained abroad, including access to legal representation, regular monitoring of their health and welfare, and collaboration with relevant international bodies such as International Committee of Red Cross. 5, the action taken by the relevant state agencies to address this issue comprehensively, including investigation into similar cases, data on affected individuals, diplomatic efforts undertaken, challenges encountered, timelines for dissolution, and long-term measures for repatriation, rehabilitation, and reintegration of affected Kenyans. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes. And therefore, if you get an opportunity to speak, kindly do so for not more than 3 minutes. The Honorable Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to comment on the statement for Senator Muma about the teachers who are not enough for people living with special needs. Mr. Speaker, I happen to have some of the schools in Machakos County, and when I visit them, I feel so sorry for the few teachers who are there teaching those students, because you'll find one teacher teaching like 45 students or even 70 students, 80 students on their own, and you find that we are not helping these students because they don't learn the way they should learn. And I would support this statement and request the Committee for Education, when this statement comes to the committee, they summon the people in charge, and they should demand for more deployment of such teachers so that the students will get their right, because it's the Constitution is very clear that every child has a right to learning. And the PWDs have a lot of issues. You'll find even some cannot be able to go to classes because they have nobody to help them. It's a high time even the Kenyan government look into the issues of the PWDs and even provide for the parents or the caregivers who take care of those children so that they can be able to go to school, or they build a lot of boarding schools where they can be retained there, and they employ caretakers for them, because they are citizens of this country and they have a right to education. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also stand up to comment on the statements. Statements sorted by Senator Cherage on the exploitation of the consumer following the increase of the fuel, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the traders are making opportunities to increase price of the goods, specifically the most affected counties, which is most exploited, is the far county from Nairobi, that is northern Kenya. Mr. Speaker, this is a trend, because there in northern Kenya, even during the rainy seasons, the traders normally exploitations of the consumers on the food and foodstuffs. It is normally there. So we urge the standardized price to be made by the government, so that at least any issues like flood, like fuel increment must be standardized of the price. I also wanted to comment on the statement by Senator Catherine Muma on the special need of the educations. Mr. Speaker, the special needs of our kids specifically, the population is now increasing, and most of the parents are hiding kids. They don't want even it to be seen in the public. They don't want even to take to schools. They don't want even to take them to the playgrounds. They normally lock them in their house. Mr. Speaker, if there is enough teachers in Kenya, in all the counties, Mr. Speaker, and also we educate as an education committee must also take initiatives to educate parents that they have to make the kids to have exposure, and the government also must also employ special needs teachers enough. Mr. Speaker, I also wanted to comment on a statement by Senator Hamida on the payroll system. Mr. Speaker, if this issue of payroll system is taken care of, there is no need the issue of the ghost workers, because in most counties, most of our workers who are working in the counties, most of them is ghost workers. And again, I urge, there is issue of this IPPD. Counties normally request the workers to be registered. Mr. Speaker, it takes almost 6 months or 1 year for the the workers to be
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to comment on the statement requested by Senator Cherengai about the prices in the counties, and I want to congratulate him for framing it correctly, so for purposes of devolution and for purposes of this House. Mr. Speaker, one of the things which is coming out clearly for a regulatory authority to make a decision of such great impact to Kenyans, then they must conduct public participation. And that is one of the things the current government has done very poorly. There must be a way, before prices are increased, that sectors should be consulted. And if there is consultation to that extent, including with the taxman, then it would have been found prudent, Mr. Speaker, not to raise prices, then deal with the consequences later, Mr. Speaker. And I think this is a matter which should be investigated, that the Energy Regulatory Authority should appear before the relevant committee of Senate and deal with this matter. But what I'm urging the team to do in that particular committee is to look at the aspect of public participation as it is required under Statutory Instruments Act, and also as it is required under the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And I'm sure if that is done, Kenyans will either reject in advance or accept in advance, and all the consequences dealt with in good time. But the idea of increasing fuel, costs has a very serious impact on commerce, on business. Like Senator Mariam have said, if it is in Mandera, then everybody is left to decide how they are going to charge transport, whether it's for goods or for people, Mr. Speaker. And that has a serious implication on the pockets of Kenyans. And I think that goes contrary to what is expected of good governance, so that if you make cost of living very high, then it means people can barely survive, money goes out of circulation, commerce stalls, investors will not come here. And this ties it with a young person stuck in Europe, in a war-torn situation. The reason Kenyans are going to risk their lives abroad, Mr. Speaker, is because there are no job opportunities in the country. Companies which used to invest here, investors have run away to neighboring countries and other places where they find that the cost of doing business is reasonable, cheaper, and profitable, and leaving our graduates and the young people jobless and risking their lives in a situation which may become potentially dangerous for them. So I also want to urge that committee to move with speed. In fact, that is such a serious matter, Mr. Speaker, so that we can know what is our foreign policy. The last time the
Senator Mundegi.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia statement ya Senator Wambungoma kuhusu mambo ya kilimo ya kahawa. Bwana Spika, siku hizi kilimo yote, kahawa, majani, makandamia, pia mahindi na pia hata sukari imekuwa inalete pesa nyingi kwa mwananchi na pia kwa serikali ya Kenya. Bwana Spika, ningeomba ile kamati itaweza kuangalia mambo ya kilimo ya kahawa huko Bungoma. Kuna mambo mengi Bwana Spika wangefaa waangalie, kwa sababu nakumbuka iko wakati tulitembea huko Bungoma, lakini kulikuwa na shida nyingi, kwa sababu waangalie, kwa sababu nakumbuka wakati tulipitisha pesa tulikuwa tukijua mangavana wanafaa pia waanjiri agricultural extension officers lakini hizo pesa zingine tumekuwa tukiongezea, mangavana wamekuwa wakipeleka sehemu zingine. Kwa sababu nakumbuka wakati tuliuliza hiyo swali, kasemekana wakulima wenyewe ndio wanaajiri wale watu wanaangalia mambo ya kilimo ya kahawa. Na pia wakati tulifuatilia vizuri, wale wafanyikazi, wale watu wa huko Bungoma ama kaunti zingine wajui kama kuna pesa kama hizo ya kuajiri mambo ya agricultural extension officers. Bwana Spika, mambo ingine ningeomba wangeweza kufuatilia mambo ya kilimo ya kahawa ama ya kilimo yoyote, ni pia waangalie, kwa sababu siku hizi kuna bill imepita imefanywa validation, na tumeona kaunti 47 zingine kama Embu, Meru, Tharaka Nithi na zile zingine, unakuta kaunti zingine bei ya kilo moja inatoka shilingi 145, 130 na ingine kama kaunti kama hizo. Kwa nini unakuta bei yao iko shilingi kama 100? Kwa hiyo ni mambo mengi, hii kamati ikienda huko itaangalia, sio kamati, sio kaunti ya Bungoma peke yake. Bwana Spika, mambo ingine wangeangalia. Kama upande ule kuna mbonda ambaye tulisikia watu wanatoka huko Bungoma, huko Mount Elgon, na pia uwizi wa kahawa wanaipeleka mpaka Uganda. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, mambo ya kahawa, ile kamati kuna mambo mengi Bwana Spika itaweza kuangalia. Pia ningeomba wataweza kuita waziri wa agriculture na wa cooperative na pia governor wa hizo county wakae chini, ndio mkulima asiumie tena, kwa sababu kuna sheria mpya ya kufuatilia vile mkulima atakuwa anapata pesa inafaa. Kwa sababu Bwana Spika, dakika ya mwisho, kahawa imekuwa ni ngorondi katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, kwa sababu katika nchi nyingi kahawa ile inapatikana, ile mzuri kabisa ni ile inatoka katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, naunga mkono nikiwa senator wa Embu County daktari. Asante.
Senator Osoti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to quickly comment on two statements. The first statement is a statement by Senator Hamida on an important issue of implementation of the integrated county payroll system. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with the approach that the national government has taken to ensure that we have a centralized and integrated payroll system, similar to what has been done for procurement and the proposed integrated system for revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, even as we may argue that all these ventures are designed to interfere with devolution, I think there is sense in having an integrated approach to the way payroll is being managed. Because in most of our counties, if you look at the audit reports, they tell us that most counties are not paying statutory deductions. Most counties have poor payroll management. There is a poor management of data and all the bad things, including ghost workers. So having a centralized approach will help in addressing those challenges. Even as we complain about national government trying to micromanage counties, they are doing that because our counties have failed. If the COG focused itself, these are some of the areas they would look into, so that we can have a situation where they have self-regulation of their own system. Mr. Speaker, let me also comment on the statement by Senator Kinyua on the issue of illegal migration of our people to Ukraine and Russia to participate in war. Mr. Speaker, it seems that this problem is not going away. We had a high-profile visit of our Prime Cabinet Secretary and the CS for Foreign Affairs to Russia. Mr. Speaker, this was a high-profile trip by a high-ranking government official. But he came back empty-handed with no solution to the problem. I think he owes Kenyans an explanation what really happened, because the problem is still persisting, Mr. Speaker. We meet so many young people who have been taken to Russia or Ukraine irregularly, and the government seems not to know what is happening. and the government on the other side has said that are also not aware. So we are basically operating like a failed state, where people come into our country, take away our youth, and we have no idea what is happening. When we go...
Senator Chirange.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maybe for the record, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, under your guidance, Mr. Speaker, before the Committee of National Security and Foreign, appeared and said the Kenya now have an arrangement between the Kenyan government and the Russian Federation through Sergei Lavrov, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Russia. And Mr. Speaker, sir, for the information of the House, because it was my question, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, informed the committee, which I believe is also the Senate, that the Diaspora Department, Mr. Speaker, had been dedicated to follow up and track most of these people who go to fight in Russia and Ukraine, Mr. Speaker. So these are something that you directed, they appeared, and I wish the Chair of National Security was here. He would be able to canvass that, Mr. Speaker, and even confirm that there were 1,000 Kenyans fighting in Russia and Ukraine war. I think a number of 45 have been repatriated, courtesy of the government. I know, Mr. Speaker, when you want to criticize government, criticize it with facts. And you cannot say Kenya is a failed state, then what are you still doing in Kenya? You can go and create your own country, Mr. Speaker. So I wanted to confirm to the House that, and even we asked the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Speaker, he confirmed that the people who took 250 Kenyans, the agency, the directors had been arrested. And I want, when we are taking chai and mandazi and duma outside there in the lunch that you have given us, Mr. Speaker, I am willing to give that information to Senator Vihiga. I know he might have political differences with Prime Cabinet Secretary, but he should not escalate for the purposes of scoring political points, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, let me comment on the special needs.
What is the point of order, Senator Osot?
Freeze my time.
Mr. Speaker, you know, it is very unfair for Senator Cheragay to belittle my contribution to just a political issue in our county. I am raising these issues because even after his trip to the Russian Federation, this issue is still going on. You can see Senator Kinyo has raised a statement on that matter. So even though he gave an explanation, but why is this issue persisting? So don't belittle it and make it look like a Vihiga issue. This is not a Vihiga issue. This is a national issue and an international issue.
Honorable Senators, debate this matter soberly, and you don't have to attach politics to it. You may proceed, Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm willing to provide further information, including I am taking up the matter from Senator Kinyo. After this, I'll call the Prime Cabinet Secretary to ensure that this person by the name Joseph Wairato Kabuki is struck, and I confirm to my brother Senator Kinyo that I'll follow up and ensure Joseph Wairato Kabuki is tracked and brought, Mr. Speaker. I'll talk to Prime Cabinet Secretary.
What is your point of order, Senator for Kakamega?
Mr. Speaker, we have truly restrained ourselves. Is the Senate of Nandi a CS?
He's not even the chairman of anything in this house.
The Senate of Nandi is attempting to answer issues directed at the government. Serious issues where parents are crying that their children are lost, others are confirmed dead, unaccounted for, and he makes it a matter of a light touch. Is he in order to act as a cabinet secretary when we know that the only thing he has won in his life in terms of being recognized was asking questions, making statements on athletes who have won various competitions internationally. This is serious business. Don't joke with the lives of our youth.
Order, Senator for Kakamega. Order. Order, Senator Fernandez. Senator for Kakamega, you cannot belittle the statements honoring our athletes. That is equally important. And we need to encourage our athletes. We need to honor them whenever they bring glory to this country. Now, Senator Fernandi, these statements have been addressed and have been committed to the relevant committee. Allow the committee to work. You may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I made it in good faith because it was just a concern, and I've said this matter has been brought to the attention.
I know you've offered to assist.
Yes, to assist. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to advise Senator Kalwale is smoking substances that he needs to be careful. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Fernandi, yes. Withdraw the last part of your sentence. Withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, on the shortage of special needs...
Senator for Kakamega,
on the
statement... Order, Senator Fernandi. The statement touching on you has been withdrawn, and he has apologized. Let's rest it there.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank you. Mr. Speaker, I honestly thank you. The Senator of Nandi deserves respect. But because his level of operation is so low, Mr. Speaker, he should not be allowed to imagine even rising to our levels.
Senator for Kakamega.
How can he imagine?
Senator for Kakamega. Senator Fernandi and Senator for Kakamega. Let me tell you this. Where I come from, at the coast, they have this saying, ukiona mwenda wazimu ametoa nguo, usitoe zako. Manake hatutajua kati ya nyinyi wawili nani mwenda wazimu. So let's leave it there. Conclude, Senator Fernandi.
Mr. Speaker, on Senator Moma's statement, I want to agree that there is shortage of special needs teachers. Mr. Speaker, you know Kenya Institute of Special Education. Mr. Speaker, it's sad that out of 439,000 teachers, only 9,340 are special needs. I think, Mr. Speaker, this is an issue that should be given proper attention. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Hamida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I only want to comment on the majority leader's statement. I can, right? Yes, I can. Regarding the backlog and the issues we have, of course, with the bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I feel quite disheartened with the backlog that we have so far. We keep on complaining that our bills are not getting to the National Assembly, or we are not finalizing, yet actually we are not committed to push ours. Mr. Speaker, it is at times frustrating, like yesterday, we could have gone to the Committee of the Whole because there are many bills pending, that is including mine, and we're not moving. And I think we've been stuck, you know, at some point. I think it's been 2 months or 3 months that we have not moved yet. We see our bills on the order paper and the motions, but yet it is unfortunate that we don't have the quorum to finalize. Mr. Speaker, I know our mission in Parliament is also to fulfill the policies, legislations, and what we came for. But then I think we only need to sacrifice our time to do what is necessary, Mr. Speaker. And also, Mr. Speaker, of course, I will also put this, it's also frustrating when our bills are stuck at the National Assembly and some of them are lost and you don't know how to follow them up. So I really want to urge my dear colleagues, let us sacrifice, let us find time to finalize all our bills, all our motions and petitions, you know, and let us do what is necessary for the Kenyans and not just making a lot of, you know, at times unnecessary or maybe noise, but then let us be here and serve Kenyans. Bwana Speaker, that is all that I have to say. Asante. Thank you.
Senator Essie Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to comment on the statement by Senator Chirargei on fuel prices and just request that the committee is going to do investigations on whether the hoarding and artificial shortage is influenced from certain quarters or indeed has influence from the war in the Middle East, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, what is now happening, we have people who are taking advantage of consumers and hiking prices, and the end result is that we are going to have rise in inflation levels, and the living standards are going to go up. So with that effect, I'd also wish that the committee goes down to see what measures the government has in place to cushion its citizens in that manner, Mr. Speaker. I also want to comment on the statement by Senator Muma on shortage of special teachers for the special learners. Mr. Speaker, it's sad to note that only 2.1% of the teaching workforce is tailored towards the special needs education, Mr. Speaker. And even the few that we have are moving to regular schools and deserting, the special needs students. So I feel that TSC, the Ministry of Education, need to prioritize special education because we have so many learners out there who are disabled and are lacking from major basic needs like education, health, and many other aspects which they are entitled to, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish to urge our counterparts in the ministry, in the National Assembly, to prioritize much funding to this sector of special education so that those children who have special needs equally benefit, so that we are not just lamenting that we do not have enough teachers to train them, but doing something to train those teachers. And I believe that this Montet-led committee is going to look into this matter and bring substantive answers to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to complete on the integrated payroll systems that has been a concern for many years. Honorable Speaker, as for the last 15 years, the counties that are still using manual payrolls, and this actually has created a lot of, an opaque kind of payments, and it has encouraged corruption. And actually, constitutionally, the members or the employees are supposed now to become, some of them, most of them under the manual payroll are actually casuals and contracts. And you'll see employees of the counties, some of the counties, who are in payroll, manual payrolls for almost 10 years, and they've not been confirmed in the appointment. And that's actually illegal itself. One other thing, Honorable Speaker, counties are not submitting the statutory elections. People, when most of the county employees, especially those they have inherited from the local governments, are now going for retirement, and today they cannot be able to access their pensions and their benefits as a result, because they have not been submitting it. And this actually affected the pensioners. And therefore, I think this is the high time now, this House, we shall take action against this kind of business, that all counties must go into integrated payroll. They stop giving manual payrolls and take all the employ them, the casuals. If they are not employing them, they should be given at least something like, they should be discharged and paid some dues. So at least, because somebody who has worked for 10 years and not even expecting any pension, is very unfortunate situation, Your Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think what will happen now is that we have to enforce the constitution, that the counties must abide by the laws. They have been found many times. They pick and pack every time it comes. The auditor, the control of budget always comments on the same issues, but there's no improvement going ongoing. So we need to now to move forward so that at least this manual payrolls can be done away with. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chris Tolasige.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to comment on the shortage of special needs teachers by TSC in the country. Speaker, broadly speaking, the state of inclusive education for learners with disabilities in our country is in absolute abysmal, at abysmal levels. With the work that I do and the extensive research that my office conducts, Speaker, it is really unfortunate that in this day and age, learners with disabilities are not accorded the same or equal chance at education, and not just that, but quality education and diverse education for that matter, Speaker. It is quite unfortunate that the Ministry of Education have not sat down to look at the curriculum for learners with disabilities and understand that we too, as people with disabilities, require to be included in matters of the future of work. Speaker, I like this question that is in the statement asking the Ministry of Education to answer to STEM subjects. Are learners with disabilities accorded the opportunity to learn science, technology, engineering, mathematics, so many other subjects that all of our non-disabled learners are given a chance to study and work in, Speaker? You will be aware, Speaker, that I am the founder of the Crystal Asige Foundation, and currently we're in partnership with the European Business Institute of Luxembourg, and we have been offering full and part scholarships to learners with disabilities across the country in STEM subjects in particular, because we see the gap that nobody else is filling, unfortunately, in the country. Speaker, we have been able to support over 850 learners with disabilities with full scholarships last year, and currently we are also extending 250 more full scholarships for learners with disabilities in subjects like robotics, in AI, in cybersecurity, in AI for management and leaders, in business management, in special needs education, in so many other subjects, Speaker, that require us as learners with disabilities across the country to also be supported with and given an opportunity to dive into, because the future of work will demand us as well to upskill and be able to gain more knowledge in these STEM subjects, Mr. Speaker. So I would like to challenge, in addition to the statements, the Ministry of Education and other ministries as well to give an opportunity for learners with disabilities to learn STEM subjects and others, because we're brilliant. We're absolutely brilliant if only we're given the chance to access these kinds of education, Mr. Speaker. Don't just give us basic, don't just give us Kiswahili, English, and basic mathematics, Mr. Speaker, because we are far more brilliant than this country gives us credit for. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to really support and urge any learner with disability out in the country.
Senator Cheburate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity you have given me to make a comment on the statement that has been read by Honorable Catherine Muma on matters special education for those people living with disability. Mr. Speaker, Senator Catherine Muma have addressed the issue of shortage of teachers that are required in the school for the people living with disability. And I want to add something, Mr. Speaker, because in our country, we have very minimal schools for those people living with disability. You find other counties, Mr. Speaker, you may find a county that has no single school for the people who are living with disability. In the county where I represent, Mr. Speaker, in Baringo, we have only 3 schools for the people living with disability. And therefore, I want to urge the Ministry of Education to consider increasing the budget in the Department of BWD so that we may be able to get so many schools. And you know, again, the school for those people living with disability, they are disadvantaged, and therefore they need facilities to be closer to them, because they are not just like other people. They may need to be treated closer, so the government and the Ministry of Education should increase the schools within our country. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, they should also be supplied with the required equipment, such as vehicles and also the good learning facilities. So it should not be treated like normal schools. Again, they should consider it in the co-curriculum activities, such as sports and whatever, so that they be able to feel like they are not neglected just like other schools. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kenyo.
Asante Bwana Spika. Nataka kuchangia taarifa ambayo imeletwa na Senator Muma kuhusu wanapaswa kufunza watoto walio na mahitaji maalum. Bwana Spika, ni kweli kwa sababu wanafunzi walio na mahitaji maalum wana haki kikatiba kuwa wakishughulikiwa, lakini kulingana kwa wizara na vile vile katika gatuzi zetu, jambo hili wamelichukulia tu hivi Bwana Spika, halitiliwi mkazo. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri kamati ambayo itakuwa ikishughulikia haya mambo isishughulikie tu upungufu wa walimu, Bwana Spika, vile vile waangazie machifu wana majukumu kwa watoto ambao wana mahitaji maalum waweze kujulikana wako wapi, kwa sababu ukitembea sehemu zingine, Bwana Spika, unapata wamefichwa. Watu wanaonekana ni kama watu ambao hawafai katika jamii. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, sio tu katika elimu, lakini wanapaswa iangaziwe katika jamii zetu na waweze kujiweza kujulikana ya kwamba hata wao wana sehemu katika jamii yetu, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo kamati inayohusika wanapaswa waangalie haya mambo kwa undani sana. Taarifa nyingine ambayo ningependa kuchangia ni taarifa ambayo imeletwa na Senator wa Nandi, Senator Chargei, kuhusu bei vile ambavyo zimepanda maradufu. Lakini Bwana Spika, inapaswa ijulikane kwanza, Jamhuri ya Kenya serikali ina jukumu ya kulinda wananchi wa Kenya. Ukiangalia bei za mafuta, Bwana Spika, uangalie bei ya mafuta Uganda, uangalie bei ya mafuta Rwanda, bei iko chini kulingana na ukilinganisha na Kenya, kwa sababu ushuru wa bei ya mafuta iko juu zaidi. Lakini hata hivyo, Bwana Spika, kumekuwa na hawa wanabiashara walagai ambao wanawalagai wa Kenya kwa kuongeza bei maradufu, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo kuna haya mashirika, Bwana Spika, kama hili shirika la udhabiti na vile vile mamlaka ya ushindani, Bwana Spika, hawa wanapaswa waajibike, waweze kufuatilia ilhali hawa wanabiashara walagai ambao wanafanya bei kwenda juu zaidi waweze kuchukuliwa hatua. Kamati ambayo inapaswa kushughulikia jambo hili wanapaswa angalia haya mambo, na wale ambao wanahusika haya mashirika, Bwana Spika, na mamlaka waweze kuitwa hapa katika Seneti na waweze kuulizwa maswali, wanafanya nini ili waweze kusaidia Wakenya. Si kuwa tu tuko na hizi shirika, tuko na haya mamlaka, lakini hayafanyi kazi yoyote kuwasaidia Wakenya. Lakini
we have long spent the 15 minutes that had been allocated to the comments. We'll therefore proceed to the next order. However, before I ask the clerk to call the next order, allow me to pass this communication. Honorable Senators, as you may recall, on Tuesday, 28th of April 2026, I suspended the Senator for Migori County, Senator Eddie Okech, for gross disorderly conduct pursuant to Standing Order 122-2A. The Senator's suspension was to conclude today, 30th of May 2026. However, pursuant to Standing Order 127, the Honorable Senator appealed against the suspension, and pursuant to Standing Order 127B, I acceded to his appeal and reduced his suspension by 1 day, and therefore the Honorable Senator has been readmitted to the chamber today. Next order.
Order number 8, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2026, second reading, resumption of debate.
Now, Honorable Senators, allow me to rearrange the order paper. There is an order that will take us very few minutes to dispense with, and that is order number 13. Kindly call that order. Once we are done with that order, we'll, of course, resume the normal flow.
Order number 13, motion consideration of the report of the Mediation Committee on the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023.
Vice Chairperson, Mediation Committee on the bill.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It's not a vice chair, it's a co-chair. Unfortunately, we cannot be subordinate to the National Assembly.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Yeah. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Let me move this motion. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the National Disaster Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2023. Honorable Speaker, the objective of the bill is to establish a National Disaster Management Authority and the County Disaster Risk Management Committee, and to provide a legal framework for the coordination of disaster risk management activities. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2023, was published via Kenya Gazette Supplement number 80 of 2023 of 31st May 2023 and was introduced in the National Assembly by way of first reading on 9th August 2023. The bill was considered by the National Assembly and passed with amendments on 20th June 2024. Thereafter, the bill was referred to the Senate for consideration in accordance with Article 110.
Senator Mohamed Chute.
Yes.
Can you read that bit of it, that motion? The way it should, then you start.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move 1 minute. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that the Senate adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2023, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 28 April 2026, and that pursuant to Article 1132 of the Constitution and Standing Order 1673 of the Senate, approves the mediation version of the bill. So, Honorable Speaker, thank you. Honorable Speaker, as I said earlier, this bill went through the National Assembly, it came to the Senate. In the Senate, we had amendments, and the Senate considered and passed the bill with amendments on 15th April 2025. And the Speaker of the Senate conveyed the decision of the Senate on the passage of the bill to the National Assembly on 15th April 2025, pursuant to the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution and Standing Order 46(2) of the Senate Standing Orders. The National Assembly considered and rejected the amendments from the Senate on 24th July 2025. Subsequently, the bill was referred to a mediation committee pursuant to Article 112 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed members of Mediation Committee on 19th August 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 149(2) of the National Assembly Standing Orders. The Speaker of the Senate also appointed senators to mediate on 3rd November 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 1162 of the Senate Standing Orders. Then there was a committee sitting, we had a sitting. The Mediation Committee had a total of 6 sittings. The first sitting was held on Tuesday, 31st March 2026. The Mediation Committee held its last sitting on Saturday, 25th April 2026. The Mediation Committee considered and agreed on a version of the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2023 in accordance with Article 1132 of our Constitution. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, having considered the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2023, the Mediation Committee recommends that this House adopts the report and approves the agreed version between the two houses on the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Bill number 24 of 2023. Honorable Speaker, allow me to call Senator Sige to second this motion. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I rise to support our co-chair, and because he has already given a snapshot of what we have been working on in this mediated.
Sorry, Senator Sige, but you know Senator Mamen Chute, Chair.
I said he was the co-chair.
To move, you know, at the end of the way you move the bill, you say, I beg to move. Yes. Then we'll call out Senator Sige to second.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the report and request Senator Sige to second the incoming women rep of where? Nairobi County.
Thank you.
Senator Sige.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I won't comment on what has just been said. However, I do rise, Speaker, to support this motion that the Senate do adopt this mediated committee version of the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, that members of the Senate and members of the National Assembly sat together for several meetings and agreed on several provisions and amendments therein. Speaker, it has been aptly summarized by our co-chair, Senator Chute, and therefore I just rise to support and second. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 28 April 2026, and that pursuant to Article 113(2) of the Constitution and standing under 167(3) of the Senate, the Senate approves the mediated version of the bill. Senator Omatinga, Commissioner, Parliamentary Service Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity, but I was being given a brief by my colleague, Senator Kenywa. Let him give this opportunity to someone else to say.
Have you benefited from his wisdom when he showed
No,
himself
he had not finished, Mr. Speaker. He is still going on, so I think I'll benefit from it. Thank you.
Okay, proceed. Oh, okay, okay. Senator Chalagay.
Mr. Speaker, I want to, from the onset, to congratulate Senator Chute or Shute, whichever the case, Mr. Speaker, because you remember Mundigi has a funny way of saying his name. Mr. Speaker, I know for Kenyans who are following is that when as houses, because these are bicameral parliament, when as houses, Mr. Speaker, we differ. And we are lucky because you are a member of National Assembly and now you are a member of the Senate, the upper house. And the definition of Article 93 on what parliament is part of the National Assembly and the Senate. Mr. Speaker, when we differ, when the bill comes from the National Assembly of the Senate and we don't agree with the proposals, Mr. Speaker, the bill as provided for under the Article 113 of the Constitution 2010 of the Republic of Kenya, the bill, Mr. Speaker, is taken for mediation. And therefore, the mandate and authority of the mediation committee on this issue of disaster Management Risk Bill that was originated from the National Assembly. You ably, under your office, appointed, and I'm happy, Senator Crystal Asige, the incoming woman rep of Nairobi City County, and of course, and I agree with Senator Chute, Mr. Speaker, because you cannot say Vice Chair, and I'm disappointed, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chelagay, there is no position called woman rep. There is no position like that in the Constitution.
Women rep, sorry for that.
No. So be a member of Nairobi County.
Okay.
Yeah, representing Nairobi County.
Well guided, Mr. Speaker.
Representing Nairobi County.
Well guided. So we wish her well in her endeavors, and I want to appeal her to still come back to broad-based. So, Speaker, what I wanted, there is a vice chair, and I agree, Mr. Speaker, I'm disappointed with this report, because our chair of national cohesion, who is Senator Chute, Mr. Speaker, is being referred as a vice chair. I thought he is the co-chair because we are equal partners. And I want to appeal to our secretariat, Mr. Speaker, and I wish Clerk Chania would allow you to listen to this, because this very pregnant point is that we are not subordinate of National Assembly. We are not, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, in this report, they should have referred co-chair is Senator Mohammed Said Chute, who is the distinguished senator of Marsabit, and I had appealed that he should join Wazee to go and bring peace in Seikuru, as we try to stabilize Seikuru, because he's the chair of national cohesion and other things, Mr. Speaker. So this report, I am happy that the committee did agree, Mr. Speaker, through the facilitation of your office, and in the spirit of Article 113 of Constitution 2010, of course, this matter now is rested. We shall vote on it, and of course, within the next 7 days, His Excellency President Dr. William Ruto, Mr. Speaker, will have opportunity. And I've gone through most of these issues that was raised in the report, and through mediation were more of a cleanup. For example, the issue of drilling exercises, where Kenyans are put on high alert. Mr. Speaker, we are lucky. I don't know whether God lives in Kenya, because it looks like God lives in Kenya, because we rarely experience major disasters in the country. And like other countries, I've been to America, Mr. Speaker. One I saw, was it Missouri, Mr. Speaker, where yesterday night or today, there was hailstone, and all the cars, the windscreens were destroyed. You go to countries in Asia where they are having earthquakes, Mr. Speaker. It is very like the tsunami, Mr. Speaker, and many others, Mr. Speaker. When I was in Brazil, Mr. Speaker, I think 2018, 2019, to study the disaster preparedness. And I'm telling you, Mr. Speaker, if a disaster happens in Brazil, within 20 seconds, the National Command Center on handling disaster can be alerted, and therefore responsive is quite high. Mr. Speaker, we have been having minor disasters in the country, like road accidents, like one there, the buildings have collapsed, but it's more of compliance, Mr. Speaker. And I think, Mr. Speaker, it's very important that this committee agreed on the issue of drilling, the issue of the role of cabinet minister, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, I hope when the House reconvenes and does a division, within 7 days, His Excellency the President will have to assent to the bill. Mr. Speaker, just in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, are you aware this is the mining area of governors, especially from northeastern governors? Because under Public Finance Management Act, 2% of each and every county is allocated disaster management, Mr. Speaker. Because disaster management is a concurrent function. It is done by the National Assembly and by the national government and county governments, Mr. Speaker. 2% under Public Finance Management Act. The information I have is Marsabit, for example, allocates more than 1.5 billion Kenyan shillings to disaster. But they cannot provide even basic water tracking to the citizens of Marsabit when there is severe drought in that region, Mr. Speaker. You saw in Mandera, the governor went ahead and used disaster to buy 55 million worth of seedlings. Yet he should be providing for water tracking. And when we ask him where are the trees, he told us go and follow the road and you will see where we have planted those seeds, Mr. Speaker. Of course, you cannot speak about Wajir, Mr. Speaker, where the chairperson of Council of Governors, Hamid Abdullahi. And interestingly, I want to inform Senator Chute that most of his governors, from Governor Abdullahi, Governor of Marsabit, Governor of Garissa, and governor of Mandera, all of them are known as absentee governors. They operate more in South B or South C in Nairobi than in their counties, Mr. Speaker. And that is where they eat. I can give you an example, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, that we need to move as a country from response-based to prevention and mitigation of disasters. Sample of 2%, as per the equitable shareable revenue we dispensed in the last financial year, Mr. Speaker. Under the Public Finance Management Act, every county, including Meru, must allocate 2% of the budget to disaster. I can give you only 3 counties. Nairobi, they allocated 846 million in last financial year. But now, there is floods in the city. We are being told they wanted to buy boats. We never saw those boats when there were floods in the city, Mr. Speaker. I'm told there is, was it Roysambu or part of this city, where the KDF, Mr. Speaker, were called to assist Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, because of lack of coordination. Yet in that financial year, 846 million. Nakuru, Mr. Speaker, allocated 342.8 million to disaster as per the 2%. Mr. Speaker, Narok allocated 298 million to disaster. And of course, I come to Marsabit, as per the COB, sorry, they allocated 174.9 million Kenyan shillings to disaster, Mr. Speaker. What am I trying to demonstrate? That disaster to governors and counties is a lucrative business. When we think of disaster to assist, and the intention and aim of the PMF Act, and being enriched by this report that has been ably moved by Senator Chute and Mheshimiwa Crystal Asiga, Mr. Speaker, was to assist Kenyans in need. The way now we have floods in this city, Mr. Speaker. You know, when I heard the governor of Nairobi saying they want to buy boats, I used to think it's a joke. Until the other day, it rained heavily. Until the vehicles became useless, Mr. Speaker. So this money that is allocated to disaster, and I want to appeal to Senator Chute, and I wish my chair of County Public Accounts Committee, we must audit the funds meant for disaster management in this country, Mr. Speaker. We face disasters that can only be handled, Mr. Speaker. In this day and era, Mr. Speaker, and I have a problem with also how you remember in the last session, and I am happy you were in the National Assembly, we were pushing that the strategic grain reserve must buy more cereals to assist Kenyans, especially during hunger, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate that Kenyans are dying because of hunger. Mr. Speaker, a true government is known on how they treat their vulnerable in terms of need. If it rains, they suffer it. If the sun comes, they suffer it, Mr. Speaker. And it's not only human beings, it's also animals. And in fact, in future, and I've read the bill and this report, I hope Senator Chute, because he comes from that region, we should also enhance the livestock insurance, Mr. Speaker. So that even as we take care of the human beings, of the people, we must take care of the livestock. Because he will tell you, the livestock, Mr. Speaker, the livestock to people of Marsabit and that northern region, where there are millions and millions, their dependence economic activity is the livestock. So I hope when we do this on the issue of disaster management, Mr. Speaker, and prevention, not reactive, Mr. Speaker, we should be able to ensure that we push. And therefore, I want to appeal to the President, now that we have an appeal to the President to ascend, and appeal to him to ignore the naysayers, Mr. Speaker. You saw today news headlines saying the economy under Kibaki, under Uhuru grew, under William Ruto is not growing. I want to ask the President to assent to such bills and ignore the naysayers. You know, by the way, Mr. Speaker, media also uses a principle that they say, Mr. Speaker, there is a famous principle in media that says it is not news when a dog bites a man, but it is news when a man bites a dog, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal to the President to assist us by assenting to such legislative proposals that will improve the lives of Kenyans and include the naysayers, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, this country, there are people who are behaving that there are more Kenyans than others, that they must lead this country. What we call ethnicity inferiority complex in this country, Mr. Speaker. Even when Kibaki, I have seen people celebrating Kibaki. Mr. Speaker, you know you are a Njurinjeka and you must have seen the reign of Kibaki. And they celebrate Kibaki so much, forgetting in 2000, 2007, 2008, there was post-election violence. They disputed 2007 general election, Mr. Speaker. So the success story of this country will be written through such innovative, precise legislative agenda that we give in this country, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal to the President as per Article 113 of the Constitution, within 7 days, and I know Your Excellency, sorry, Mr. Speaker, sir, you will be able to present, Mr. Speaker, and I would note, Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, I want to thank the President because he took his time today to welcome Sebastian Sawe. And I thank you for approving the statement, Mr. Speaker. Sebastian Sawe, who won the London Marathon, who ran under 2 hours, was given a customized number plate, Mr. Speaker, was given millions of shillings. He was given a heroic response, Mr. Speaker, and I hope in future I want to pray and appeal to the people of Meru to start being athletes. This is a lucrative business, Mr. Speaker. But I have only one problem with KRA, Mr. Speaker. Can you believe Sebastian Sawe is winning 48.5 million in award, but KRA are taking 18 million Kenya shillings? KRA should zero rate, Mr. Speaker. Why take 18 million? The KRA, Mr. Speaker, so I want to appeal to KRA not to tax the winnings of athletes and sportsmen. And Mr. Speaker, with the indulgence that you have given me, because Sebastian Sawe is my villager. He comes from Donyangaria village. I come from Osoriot. And I wouldn't sit without acknowledging and thanking the President. But KRA, please, stop taxing Kenyans who are winning. There are many Kenyans who are doing tax evasion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to support this mediated version of disaster bill that came from the National Assembly, and I hope Article 113 will be signed to law, and Kenyans, let us use what we call more of, Mr. Speaker, of preventive and mitigative measures rather than reactive measures in place. And congratulate Senator Chute for the job well done, and we wish him well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Senators, according to my dashboard, there is no other senator wishing to contribute on this motion. Therefore, I will call the mover to reply. Senator Mohamed Chute.
Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the distinguished senator from Nandi, Senator Cherargei. Okay, allow me to reply to this motion, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 66.3, I beg to move that the putting of a question be deferred to a later date. Well done. That's okay with you, sir.
Your Honor, accepting the putting of the question has been deferred. So, Honorable Senators, we are now going back to order number 8, business appearing as order number 8, Division of Revenue Bill. Any senator wishing to contribute? Order number 8. The order was called out previously by the previous chair. That is Division of Revenue Bill. Do you want to say something, Senator Muma?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the Division of Revenue Bill 2026. Honorable Speaker, I am glad that after the conversation and after the pull and push between the Senate and the Council of Governors, that we have opportunity to debate and contribute to this bill. Honorable Speaker, the Senate is in that space where we must play our role as the house that would fight and for the protection of devolution by ensuring that we negotiate, put our best foot forward to negotiate for adequate funds to be given to county governments in order for devolution to actually work as it was intended. Honorable Speaker, and after fighting for devolution, Honorable Speaker, I wish Cherargei will just let people contribute. I feel disrupted. I feel I don't have your ear as the conversation is going on.
This year is on your side, so don't mind. I'm just getting some direction.
You are a miracle worker that you can listen to Cherargei at the same time hear what I'm saying. Honorable Speaker, when Senator Cherargei contributed, I listened. In fact, I was on the chair. I listened very, very carefully. I just want to urge that you would also have respect for the others as we contribute. Listen, I'm sure you'll have some good point to add. Honorable Speaker.
Is your point of order, Senator Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker, standing on the number one, and I request Senator Muma is saying I don't respect the House or her. Yet you cannot approach the Speaker without your permission. You are the one who beckoned me to approach the... Does it show that I am showing disrespect? I thought you had called me for 1 or 2 consultations. I didn't do it in bad faith. So can the Senator... And I respect her normal reason to her submission. So I don't know why she's taking an offense and the Speaker beckoned. Unless as a Speaker she rarely calls people to approach her. I don't know.
Honorable Speaker, my point was this, and Honorable Cherargei, I would request you be humble enough to listen, that in every day we have to actually call you to lower your voice in order for people to listen. That's what I was referring to. I have no problem with you approaching the chair, but listen when the others...
Stop addressing Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just wanted to make, he wanted me to verify, and that's what I was saying, and I was just requesting very humbly that even as we listen to you, please also listen to us. Honorable Speaker, I was making the point that we were angry as the Senate by the manner in which the Council of Governors conducted themselves, and we had said we will defer the conversation on the Division of Revenue bill. And I'm glad that we've come to discuss it because that is a constitutional responsibility that we must actually attend to. And we also have the constitutional responsibility to also oversight how these funds are deployed, and therefore both roles are roles of the Senate, and without shame, without fear, we will carry out both in a manner that the people of Kenya contemplated when they gave this role to the Senate. Honorable Speaker, even as I say so, I would want to support that those who have argued that the Senate must go back to negotiate for more funds. Our committee has recommended 454 billion, and the CRA has recommended more money than that. My view is, first, we need to know that 450 billion is the amount, and I speak as a member of ODM, as a member of who is aware of that this issue was discussed as part of the MOU between ODM and the government. There are those who pride themselves that we are doing a lot as broad-based. And I would want to say, in good faith, if at all the government respects Raila Odinga, we need to actually at least honor his memory by doing what is right. 450 was supposed to be given in the past financial year. So in this financial year, we should be going up. So I want to urge the government that we need to give more to counties, and to also urge the government to know, in my view, my humble advice to any national government that will be there, that the national government that embraces devolution best will actually develop this country faster. Because a lot of the service delivery that is required to trigger the economic growth are in functions that are carried out by county governments. So when we hold up the money, and yet the development budget for national government is not more than 30%, we actually end up with the grumbling that is happening. Honorable Speaker, 420 is not enough for this reason, that we still have functions listed in the 4th schedule that have never been implemented by some counties. Counties are always complaining that they do not have enough money. The wage bill is still high, as you are aware. Key services like agriculture extension services have been relegated, they're not there. We have not had enough money to deploy in the health sector, for instance, to do effective preventive health. We actually are misusing CHPs who are given 2,500 to carry the burden of doing preventive health for a government that should actually not think otherwise. 2,500 is an insult. So properly speaking, we should be trying to find monies that we can deploy if we are serious about UHC, that we can deploy both in preventive health and in our public facilities. Bulk of the services carried out by government, by county governments, in order for us to be able to achieve what we are talking about. Honorable Speaker, the model of UHC in health in Kenya cannot be achieved when we are giving a drop of the amounts of money that we are giving to counties. Honorable Speaker, we have functions like the museum, the libraries, which were the national government had held on, has transferred, but the monies were not transferred. Honorable Speaker, along the line in the 4th schedule, with the mandate on ECDE and VTCs, there is the other function of care institutions. Care institutions are particularly required by the most vulnerable in this country. The young girls who go to work for the middle class people and from the informal settlements are the ones who need care services for their children in order for them to go and do some days work and come back to feed that family. Honorable Speaker, I'm in the Committee on Education. That is a function that nobody is implementing. And they're not implementing because it looks like the easy one to fall off because the money is not enough. The museums would best keep our culture. I would want to find out any of you in your counties, which county is implementing that function properly. In fact, my suggestion, Honorable Speaker, and I would want you to take these suggestions further with the House, is that the Senate, in the 14th year after devolution has kicked off, should actually prepare a better indicator on the functions that should be implemented by county governments for us to be able to evaluate to find out how many of the functions that were given to the counties are being implemented. How many are not being implemented. But we know part of the problems of governors is because they don't have enough money. So the natural thing is to drop off what looks like luxury. But those functions are not luxury. They are not luxury. We need to actually ensure that every function is implemented. It cannot be implemented when we only add 5 billion to what was given last year, knowing very well the economy is not seriously growing. Inflation is a factor. What are we trying to achieve? But when we come to oversight as well, and I'm urging that our finance team and whoever will be in the mediation should fight for the maximum. And I would say we go for the CRA proposed share. When we come to the oversight, we must also audit the expenditure by county governments and governors against the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, it is despicable that a governor would proudly share on how many millions they have given 500 million to bursaries, which is not their function, but will not have built one ECDE, which is their function. We also need to get governors in a room to understand what their function is. They are not above the law. So we cannot go fighting as a Senate for them to get more money, and we hear governors assigning illegal MOUs to give conditional grants to the national government on bursaries. An issue that the whole world, all politicians want to give monies to. The members of the National Assembly, the president separately, all these cards giving scholarships. What is in this bursary? We need a proper evaluation of that. And we need to surcharge the governors who've taken money that is little, instead of deploying to functions that they are actually assigned under the 4th schedule, who go to assign it to other issues. I can see in the bill the national government is talking about cost cutting, some of the things that were put into account. I agree, as a nation we need to understand what is a priority and what is not a priority. And one of the things we must look at both county and national government levels is the parallel governments, in the name of advisors, in the name of these people who are employed willy-nilly by governors, by the president, and whose impact on the budget we have never been told properly. In fact, the Senate might also want to find out how much budget line is being deployed by governors to the employment of the fleet of advisors who are more than their CECs and those who are employed to carry out functions. So in the 14th year, Honorable Speaker, I think beyond what we did this morning, that I want to give accolades to the Senate for, particularly the Senate Secretariat, I think we need to also come up with a publication of what is the state of the implementation of the functions assigned to counties. And we need to start auditing each county against that standard. We need to actually be able to call out county governments that have spent monies on things that they should not have spent on. Properly speaking, they need to be personally surcharged with their finance officers, because that is what was contemplated by the Constitution. Nobody is above the law. And when you go above the law, you actually should be penalized. And the Constitution contemplated that you will be personally penalized for making decisions that were not within the law. So even as I support, I want to ask that we vigorously campaign and lobby for more money. We must tell the president that we still have a lot of money held at the national government. Monies for roads. We still have parastatals that are holding functions of the counties. Money that should be counties, still with the counties, still being held by national government. So the national government cannot afford to throw a token 5 billion extra to the counties. But the committees must also be firm and tell the governors, we will do what we are supposed to do, including ensuring that you spend the monies that you are given to the functions that you are supposed to spend on. And you cut down on expenditure that is unnecessary so that we can get services. Honorable Speaker, I feel if we are not careful, the people of Kenya are getting tired. The combination of the role of parliament, executive, even the judiciary, we need to start doing our job guided by nothing but the Constitution. And I believe if we implement this Constitution as was contemplated, this country will go far. I believe the national government that will come up and embrace devolution, and all of them lie to us when they are campaigning, that they support devolution. But when they come, they are the first ones affirming parastatals carrying out roles that are not theirs. I want to ask the broad-based government, we now have the chair of budget is an ODM member. The CS Treasury is an ODM member. Raila Odinga stood for devolution. Raila Odinga had asked in his lifetime that 450 in the last financial year be sent to county governments. If you truly respect him, including the president, if you truly respect Raila Odinga, you need to know we need to give the 450 which should have been given in the last financial year, and we need to mark it up in this financial year, and I am asking that we mark it up to what the CRA has recommended in good faith. And let us find other ways of ensuring that we save cost on the largesse that is happening to ensure that we find that money. And I believe that money is there and can be found to go to the counties. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Omatinga Wahome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mine will not take as long because I'll be sharing a meeting in a few minutes. But I want also to contribute in support that indeed we must, as senators, fight for increment of the allocation to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, the bottom line is we must ensure that we reinforce the gains that have been made while at the same time protecting them. By saying this, Mr. Speaker, it can never be lost to us that we are serving the 48 governments in Kenya, the 47 county plus the national government. We are serving the same people, and therefore it is in the best interest of us in a one government approach to ensure that we unbundle as many functions as possible, while also ensuring that those functions that have been unbundled, the budgets are following them. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, it must also not be lost to us that we have a constitutional rule of oversight, and that the governor, some governors, have made it very difficult ensuring them that the allocated resources cannot be audited, cannot be followed up. And we've even seen situations where they've refused to submit themselves to the specific committees for questioning. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we fight for enhancement of the money to the county government so that we can be able to increase the benefits of the people at the grassroots level, we must also come up with mechanisms that will ensure that the monies allocated to the county government is accounted for, is spent in a way that can be mix economic and socio and political impact to the people at the grassroots level. Mr. Speaker, we know that some of the notorious counties are those which are marginalized and those which have been touted as poor counties. Some of them, Mr. Speaker, for the last 15, 13, 14 years have been allocated hundreds of billions, but Mr. Speaker, there is not much that you can show of it. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we fight for the increment of the allocation to the county government, we must also reinforce and look at the mechanism that has been put in place to ensure that we do not only oversight, but we also come up with a definition of what is an impactful project, Mr. Speaker, but left at the liberty of the governors, as is today, Mr. Speaker. We'll find some who are giving manure to the people. We'll find some who are giving cows that go and die after a couple of days, Mr. Speaker. We'll find some that are giving all manners of things and saying in the name of social development, Mr. Speaker. This, Mr. Speaker, can only be achieved if we come up with a matrix. And because that is not defined in the Constitution, maybe we need to sit down with the governors in the spirit of moral responsibility and agree within which parameters can we define how you spend your money? Within which parameters can we agree that the resources that goes to the county are expended in a way that will be impactful, Mr. Speaker? I would want also to say, Mr. Speaker, some counties have shown tremendous progress in the way that they're implementing and using their money. But also, Mr. Speaker, we must also be alive to the fact that any development this year becomes an expenditure in the following year because of the maintenance cost. And therefore, when we talk about only increment of 5 billion, that, Mr. Speaker, is not enough to ensure that what was developed the previous year will be also maintained. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as I wind up to join the other meeting, I would want to urge the governors to ensure that whatever they get is spent in a way that is accountable, transparent, but then also, Mr. Speaker, the senators in their role of oversight, they must also come up with a formula of ensuring that they follow up so that we are not reduced to morticians who will be coming and saying money was lost after it has been lost. And we come up with mechanisms, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that projects that have been conceptualized make sense politically, economically, and socially to the people, so that at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, the scarce resources that are allocated to the county can also be impactful. As sit down, Mr. Speaker, indeed I must commend the President, because since the entry of the Kenya Kwanza government, we have seen that disbursement of money to the county government has been quite punctual, as opposed to the previous regimes, Mr. Speaker, that were using the county allocation as a balancing figure variable when we have shortage of government, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, there is something, yes, to be happy about. What needs to be done more is to unbundling of the services, and most importantly, ensuring that the budget lines follow them, and that also must be followed by reinforced oversight commitment from the senators, as well as the governors submitting themselves whenever there are queries, so that we can clear that and cultivate goodwill from the people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Okay. Next is Senator Chebulet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity you have given me to also make a submission on matters county revenue allocation bill. Mr. Speaker, as we normally as senators champion for the governors to appear before the committees and give us their how they have been managing our county resources, we also as senators, we champion for the increment of our county allocations. So, Mr. Speaker, as the House and also members who are mandated to do oversight to our governors, we also appeal to our governors to appear at any time they are being summoned by the committees of this House. Mr. Speaker, as we champion for the increment of resources within our counties, we also demand accountability among our governors. We want them to show us how they are managing, how they are using our public resources, because we don't know a situation, Mr. Speaker, whereby as senators, we are championing the national government to increase the allocation of resources to our counties, and again, we don't see the benefits. We don't see the results. Because, Mr. Speaker, in several counties, Mr. Speaker, within our country, roads are in a very pathetic condition, and you find governors demanding for more resources. Agriculture sector, Mr. Speaker, is doing badly in our counties. Health sector, Mr. Speaker, is doing badly in our counties, and yet we come to this House and request the national government to continue allocating more resources to our counties, and we don't see the results. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we demand our governors to appear before any committees when they are being interrogated, so that we be able to know the resources we are fighting to be allocated to our counties, whether they are doing the required job or they are being misused by our governors. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, in my county, Mr. Speaker, recently, we were led by the LT Chairman of Standing Committee on Senate by Mheshimiwa Senator Mandago. We were in Baringo, and the assessment we went through, Mr. Speaker, the health facilities in my county are doing very badly, and therefore I will urge and demand this House to discuss Baringo County as a national disaster, because health facilities, our people are suffering. We don't have drugs, we don't have doctors, we don't have nurses, even those people who are working as casual, they are never paid. So, Mr. Speaker, there is a report we will submit before this House on matters health sector in Baringo County, and I will request all the senators to focus on Baringo County on matters health. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Cheblet. Honorable Senators, the move of this motion is not allowed to reply, so I defer the reply of the motion to the next sitting. Honorable Senators, I want to reorganize again this bill, the order paper, on appearing as number 9, 10, 11, 12 are defunct. And then when you look at our order paper again, business appearing under order 14, orders 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. These are divisions, and therefore are also defunct. And then we go to order number 19, all the way to 29, also that business stands deferred. Therefore, Senators, Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 5th May 2026 at 2:30 p.m.